some people.
House Speaker Paul Ryan is so heavily financed by internationalist Obamatrade donors that he has virtually sold out his entire country to pay off his foreign-controlled money masters, which is why we believe Congress and the American people need to fire Paul Ryan. Hello, this is Charles Benninghoff, and today I'll strategize with you as to what is best and how to go about firing Paul Ryan from the House Speaker job and why you too should get involved in this fight. Paul Ryan's campaign war chest is filled with foreign-controlled money, and that is why he consistently votes anti-American positions and lies to us about what it is to be a Republican as though he's the only person making that definition. I want to fire Paul Ryan, and if you want to fire Paul Ryan too and want to jump into this holy campaign against him, click on the link now appearing so that you can be taken to our action page and learn how to send personalized letters to each member of Congress to accomplish this mission. From there, you can tell the members of Congress that Paul Ryan has taken so many Obamatrade bribes, some people call them political contributions, but his brain has been switched off. It's no longer American. And all he can see about and think about is securing Obama's legacy through a lousy, rotten foreign trade deal. Paul Ryan is so tied up in passing Obamatrade, throwing Americans' borders wide open, and giving away American Social Security checks to military-aged, unvetted male Muslim refugees that he might as well be a member of Obama's Muslim Brotherhood-controlled administration. Ryan has been bought and paid for, and in fact, that is the main reason why the establishment selected him in the first place to replace John Boehner as House Speaker. Ryan was third in line for the speakership because of the amount of Obamatrade campaign cash he had raked in, and I'll prove that in a moment. Paul Ryan's entire political career is now based on trying to pass Obamatrade. He has totally been bought and paid for on this issue. Here is what his opponent, Paul Nehlen, has to say about where Paul Ryan's campaign money comes from.
I couldn't explain it to myself when I looked at Paul Ryan championing this process, this fast-track trade promotion approval, and which is the precursor, as you know, to the TPP or Trans-Pacific Partnership. I couldn't explain it to myself. So I looked into Paul Ryan's campaign financing, and a lot of times you find the money tells the story, and that's exactly what I found. 83% of Paul Ryan's campaign cash came from outside of our district.
Let's say a prayer for Paul Nehlen's campaign this week because he's running against one of the most heavily Obamatrade financed war chests in the House of Representatives this year. If you doubt what I'm saying, let's take a look at the numbers. Paul Ryan took in $2.3 million from a pro-Obamatrade crony capitalist and big businesses that want to ship your American jobs overseas and replace American workers with cheaper foreign labor. That's half of all of Paul Ryan's campaign cash. Can you believe that? A local yokel from Madison, Wisconsin, has half of his cash in the campaign coffers paid for by internationalist businesses? Doesn't that tell you something? Notice his placement on the list and how that lines up with the Speaker of the House position over the last 6 months. The only candidates who raked in more Obamatrade cash were John Boehner, who we drove from office last year, and Kevin McCarthy, who we kept out of the House speakership because of his philandering. Ryan was the third biggest Obamatrade recipient, and that is why the elites put him into the speakership after we derailed Kevin McCarthy. The Bible makes this issue perfectly clear to us. Exodus in chapter 23, verse 8 says, "You shall take no bribe, because a bribe binds the discerning and perverts the words of the wise man." And whether you call it a political contribution or a bribe or some other name, it comes down to the same thing when especially those monies come from outside your district. Paul Ryan has taken in so much Obamatrade money that he would rather sink with his ship than abandon a socialist foreign trade deal, which Republicans never supported until his bribed brain came on the scene. From Abraham Lincoln until Ronald Reagan, the Republican Party was opposed to socialist foreign trade deals like Obamatrade. Here is why it is so vitally important for you to participate in this campaign. First, our tactics work. Just ask John Boehner, who now spends his time producing videos with Obama instead of wrecking the country as a socialist one-worlder in Congress. Second, it erodes Paul Ryan's support within the House. As personalized letters from Christians pour into Congress, the members see how outraged the American people are with Paul Ryan, and then they start to vote against his policies. John Boehner was the most powerful person in Congress, and he ended up isolated and unable to accomplish anything because Pray for Us and others around the United States who were patriotic Americans kept chipping away at his support. If you support us in this effort today, someone else will participate tomorrow, and before you know it, Paul Ryan will quit out of frustration because he can't get anything done, just like his big daddy John Boehner did. So jump in now and use our system to tell Congress to fire Paul Ryan. Stay tuned because the next screen will explain how to get to our action page so you can take part. This is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many blessings.
Satan can't make me doubt it. It's real and I'm gonna shout it. I was there when it happened, and I guess I ought to know.